distorted image back into a circular shape. But now they calculated this new image might have the remnants of that tiny divergence still in its center, with spherical aberration pointing in the opposite way. So if they got their maths and engineering exactly right, they could feed an image with spherical aberration through these two lenses to almost completely counteract the effect. And I imagine a lot of people in the field thought it was a crazy idea when it was proposed, right?
Not only the concept, but that this is like technically feasible, I believe. It was thought that this is not possible.
By May 1997, the group had just 2 months of development time left before their last sponsor withdrew their backing. And to make matters worse, their latest lens iteration was still just on the drawing board. But somehow, by the 23rd of July, just a week before their funding ran out, the new lens was ready to test. They gingerly placed it into the microscope, but like every time before it, the lens was unstable and failed. So they decided to switch off the equipment for 24 hours to allow the magnets to settle. And then at 2 a.m. on the 24th, they turned it on again. And almost magically, the picture started to stabilize. Suddenly, there was no aberration. Only beautiful, clear images of atoms. After more than 60 years of failed attempts, Urban, Rose, and Hayter pulled off the seemingly impossible. With this method, they cut the resolution of the TEM down to only 0.13 nanometers. An average TEM image went from looking like this to this. A few months after the group's breakthrough, Knut Urban attended a microscopy conference to share these results, but because of the group's reputation, he was relegated to a small back room that barely anyone noticed. Soon, however, word spread that against all odds, his pictures seemed real. Then a crowd of hundreds formed. People were lining up outside, hoping to get a glimpse of their stunningly sharp images.
So we're going to get a sample holder.
Yes, now we got a sample holder out. We put it under the optical microscope. So the sample itself is a small lamella that you can't see without the optical microscope. Yeah, that works with that.
Beautiful. On top of the B, there's a prong?
Yeah, and on the very top of that, on the left-hand side, looks like a little bit of dust. That's our actual sample. Okay, now I simply go up to the magnification and I do a very few more basic alignments. In this electron microscope, because it's called transmission electron microscope, the electrons always transmit the sample. Here we look through our entire sample at the same time. And that's why it's so important that we align the sample. If you imagine atoms in a high symmetry direction are lined up like birds on a string, when we